Welcome to the Mary Potter podcast. Are you ready for another magical probe?
Always.
Well, this week we're diving into the fascinating world of wizarding flash fiction. Not just one story, but two.
Awesome.
Yeah, two thrilling tales that really explore the complexities of magic, and the human heart.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It is. First, we'll be unraveling the Rebel Seer.
Okay.
It's a story where, well, imagine the power to see the future, but it becomes this heavy burden.
Yeah, I can see how that would be.
Right, for a young seer named Lyra.
Lyra.
Yeah, she's the one who can see the future and just imagine knowing what's to come, like shattering of a powerful order,
Yeah.
a tyrannical ruler's reign,
Oh, wow.
but feeling powerless to stop it.
That's got to be a tough position to be in.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we see with Lyra.
Right.
Her visions, they actually ignite a rebellion, but the path ahead is so dangerous.
I bet.
And the future she sees,
Mm-hmm.
it might just be of her own making.
Oh, interesting.
So we'll explore, that fascinating paradox of knowing the future. Yeah.
And then the struggle to change what seems like a fixed path.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear about that.
Then we're going to venture into a completely different story.
Okay.
It's called The Labyrinth of Lies.
The Labyrinth of Lies.
Yeah, so picture this. Okay, a group of teenagers.
Teenagers.
Yeah, they enter a magical maze
Okay.
to rescue their friend Jamie.
All right.
But this isn't, your typical maze.
Well, I bet.
Full of walls and dead ends. This one preys on their secrets
Secrets.
and fears.
Oh, that's scary.
It is. And so to find Jamie, this group of teenagers,
Yeah.
Tara, Alex, Ben, and Maya,
Okay.
they have to confront their deepest insecurities
Wow.
and learn the painful but ultimately liberating power of truth.
That's deep.
It is. So we're going to explore how their hidden vulnerabilities actually become both their greatest obstacle, but also their unexpected key to survival.
I can see how that would work, yeah.
So, are you ready to get started with this magical probe into wizarding flash fiction?
Absolutely. Let's do it. Okay, great. So let's start with the Rebel Seer.
Okay.
This story just really grabbed me, and the way it portrays this young seer, Lyra, and her struggle with these powerful visions of the future.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique take on the whole, chosen one trope.
Right. It's not all like glamorous prophecies and wise pronouncements.
Not at all.
It's more like, boom, here's a terrifying glimpse of what's to come.
And deal with it, right?
Exactly. And she's supposed to be joining this prestigious order, the Ari,
The Aries.
these magically gifted individuals who are meant to guide the nation with their foresight.
Yeah, like advisors or something.
Yeah, exactly. But instead of getting, some kind of hopeful prophecy during her initiation, she gets this brutal vision of chaos and destruction.
Chaos and destruction.
And to make things even worse, she sees herself in this vision.
herself.
Yeah, not in the serene white robes of a seer, but like drenched in blood red.
Oh, wow.
It's like a punch to the gut.
It sounds like...
Right. And it really sets up the whole central question of the story. Is her ability a gift or a curse?
I can see both sides.
Exactly. And as the story unfolds, we realize that the Ari, they're not these independent voices of wisdom.
No.
No, they're more like instruments of the Chancellor.
Oh, so they're being used.
Yeah, their visions are carefully controlled to maintain his power.
That's pretty messed up.
It is. And so when Lyra sees this, she's horrified.
Yeah, I bet.
And she makes this impulsive decision to flee.
Makes sense.
Right. There's no grand plan. It's just pure instinct.
Just get out of there.
Exactly. And her only lead is this hazy vision of a ragtag band hidden in the wastelands.
Ragtag band hidden in the wasteland.
Yeah, it's like the complete opposite of the opulent life she's leaving behind.
That's quite a contrast.
It is, right. And it's almost like she's blindly reaching for a different future.
A future she barely even understands.
Right.
I can see why you said the story grabbed you.
It's intense, right. And then she meets Finn. Yeah, the rebel leader.
Yeah.
And he's like the opposite of the polished, controlled Ari.
How so?
Well, he's rough around the edges, bears the marks of a hard life, but there's this spark of rebellion in him, this refusal to just accept things as they are.
Makes sense. He's a rebel leader.
Right. And his first question to Lyra when they meet is, what do we do about it?
Okay.
He doesn't dismiss her visions.
Right.
He wants to take action.
I like him already.
He's a great character, right?
Wow.
And from there, her visions become this weapon for the rebellion.
Oh, that was
She
smart.
can foresee the Chancellor's strategies,
Wow.
predict troop movements.
That's a huge advantage.
Exactly. They have this incredible tactical edge.
Yeah.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
With each victory, the visions become darker.
Darker how?
Well, they start expanding beyond these small skirmishes to this massive, devastating war.
Oh, no.
And that terrifying image of herself, the one in red, it keeps reappearing.
Oh, that can't be good.
It's not. And that's where the story explores this idea of self-fulfilling prophecies.
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
Yeah, like her attempts to prevent one disastrous future are actually leading her toward an even worse one.
That's so tricky.
It is. And the fear and anger she feels, they're fueling her actions within the rebellion.
Yeah, I can see that.
But there's this growing sense that she's becoming the very thing she's fighting against.
That's a scary thought.
It is. And it's a really lonely struggle for her because none of the other rebels can see what she's going through.
Yeah, they don't have her visions.
Right.
So what happens next?
Well, she starts searching for another way, a path that doesn't lead to all this bloodshed.
A peaceful path?
Yeah, she delves into all this forgotten lore.
Interesting.
Looking for an alternative to just predicting and reacting to violence.
She's taking control.
Exactly. And it raises this question, can you have true agency even when you know what's coming?
That's a good question.
Right. It's like, does knowing the future limit your choices, or does it empower you to change things?
I'm not sure. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's something to think about, for sure.
I like how this story makes you think.
Me too. And then we get to the final confrontation.
Okay. How does that play out?
Well, it's not this big, magical battle or anything. Yeah. It's more of a psychological showdown in the palace.
Oh, interesting.
With the Chancellor Finn and Lyra.
Okay.
And the Chancellor, he actually has his own seer there.
His own seer?
Yeah, who's feeding him these fabricated prophecies.
Oh, wow. So he's using him to manipulate things.
Exactly. He's trying to discredit Lyra.
That's devious.
It is. And it's this battle of narratives, this struggle over the perceived future.
That makes sense.
And then the Chancellor's seer just comes out with this blatant lie.
What kind of lie?
It's this manipulated vision designed to completely undermine Lyra.
Oh, wow.
And in that moment, she breaks.
Breaks down.
Not in like a crying, emotional way, but more like this profound exhaustion.
I see.
She sees the clearest future yet.
What is it?
Finn is dead. The Chancellor is victorious.
It's awful.
It is. And she's trapped, just a tool for his continued reign. And then she just rejects it.
Rejects it.
Yeah. She refuses to play the role that fate seems to have assigned her.
So she's not giving up, she's making a choice.
Exactly. It's this powerful act of self-determination.
That's amazing.
Right. Instead of trying to counter this false prophecy with another prophecy, she does something totally unexpected.
What's that?
She tells the truth.
Tells the truth.
Yeah, she lays bare her fears, the visions of war, her own potential for darkness.
That's a huge risk.
It is, but it's also this incredibly powerful display of vulnerability and honesty.
I can see that.
In a world that's filled with deceit and manipulation.
Yeah.
And the reaction is incredible.
What happened?
The Chancellor, he's totally shaken. You can see the doubt on his face. Finn, he lowers his sword, not in surrender, but like he's thinking. And in that single moment, the future cracks open.
So it's not predetermined anymore?
Not necessarily, but it creates this opening for something different.
A new possibility.
Exactly. And Lyra has taken control of her own narrative.
That's a powerful ending.
It is, and it shows that sometimes truth is the most potent weapon.
I agree. That's a great takeaway from the Rebel Seer.
It is, and it makes you think about how we approach the future. Do we try to predict it, control it, or do we focus on making the best choices we can in the present?
Right, and maybe that shapes the future more than we realize.
Exactly. It's something to think about.
It is.
Okay, so now let's switch gears completely and dive into the Labyrinth of Lies.
The Labyrinth of Lies sounds intriguing.
It is. So picture this.
Right.
A group of teenagers.
Teenagers again?
Yeah, but they're not trying to save the world or anything.
Oh.
They're just trying to rescue their friend Jamie.
Jamie?
Yeah, she's been taken by this magical maze.
A magical maze.
Yeah, but it's not your typical maze. This one preys on secrets and fears.
Secrets and fears. That's a scary combination.
It is, and it forces them to confront their deepest insecurities.
I can see how that would be challenging.
Right. So we have Tara, Alex, Ben, and Maya.
Okay, those are our heroes.
They're just ordinary teenagers with all the usual, teenage baggage.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Right. Alex is the shy, bookish one.
Okay.
Ben puts on this brave face. and Maya is cynical and keeps her guard up.
So they all have their own vulnerabilities.
Exactly, and the labyrinth's magic is designed to exploit those weaknesses.
Interesting. How does it do that?
Well, it's not about physical strength or magical ability. No, it's this psychological gauntlet forcing them to confront the lies they've built around themselves.
So it's like a test of character.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even really a physical maze.
It's not.
It's described as more of a shifting dreamscape.
Shifting dreamscape.
Yeah, like the paths change based on their confessions. It is, and there are some pretty direct consequences for holding on to those unspoken feelings.
Oh, I bet. Like what?
Well, for example, when Alex finally admits that he's envious of Ben's popularity.
That's relatable.
Right. This clearing that was filled with what looked like treasure suddenly turns into this terrifying pit of vipers.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's like the labyrinth is saying, nope, you don't get rewarded for hiding your true feelings.
I guess honesty is the best policy in this maze.
It seems that way, and it's not just Alex. All of them have to face these challenges.
Yeah, I bet.
Even Maya, who's usually so tough and guarded.
What happens to her?
Well, she's forced to confront her own self-loathing.
That's a tough one.
It is, and it's symbolized by her prized sword, which shatters when she's finally honest with herself.
Wow, so the labyrinth is really breaking them down.
It is, and it's not just about exposing their secrets. It seems to feed on what they withhold.
Feed on it.
Yeah, like the mist that swirls around them. It's almost as if it's composed of their unsaid truths. It is, and it makes you think about how secrets can have a real weight to them.
Yeah, how they can kind of drag you down.
Exactly. And Jamie, the friend they're trying to rescue, she's described as this incredibly open and honest person.
Really?
Yeah, like a beacon of dangerous truth.
A beacon of dangerous truth.
And she's the one who was taken first.
That's interesting.
It's like her honesty made her a target in a place that's built on deception.
That makes sense in a twisted kind of way.
Right. And as they go deeper into the maze, they start realizing that the only way forward is to be truthful with each other.
To share their secrets.
Yeah, and it's not easy.
I bet.
Especially for Ben.
What happens with him?
Well, he's always acting so confident and brave.
Yeah.
But he's forced to confront his deepest shame.
What is it?
These small, persistent acts of cowardice that he's kept hidden.
Oh, wow.
And it's really hard for him.
I can imagine.
But when he finally opens up,
yeah,
it actually brings the others closer.
So vulnerability can be a source of strength.
Exactly. And they start confessing their own difficult truths.
Like what?
Well, Tara admits to feeling overwhelmingly guilty about Jamie's disappearance.
That makes sense.
And Alex shares his buried resentments.
So they're all being honest with each other.
Yeah, and it's like each confession clears the air a little bit.
Literally.
Yeah, the mist that was so oppressive starts to thin out.
That's a cool visual.
Right. It's like honesty is literally making the path ahead clearer.
I like that.
Me too. And then they finally find Jamie.
Oh.
But she's not physically imprisoned or anything.
No.
No, she's in this dazed state, surrounded by echoes of their sins.
Their sins.
Yeah, all their lies are swirling around her.
So the labyrinth is using their own negativity against them.
Exactly. It's not about physical harm. It's about overwhelming Jamie with their collective self-doubt.
That's pretty messed up.
It is. And then the final challenge appears.
What is it?
This question just hangs in the air. What lie will destroy you?
What lie will destroy you? That's intense.
It is. And Tara's answer is so powerful.
What does she say?
She says that we can't save her.
That we can't save her.
And it's not about some hidden secret or anything.
Right.
It's this declaration of belief in their ability to overcome this challenge together.
So it's a statement of hope.
Exactly. And that seems to be the key that breaks the labyrinth's hold.
It can't handle their truth.
Right. And they walk out of the woods in silence, each of them processing what they've been through.
Yeah, I bet.
But when Jamie finally wakes up, her immediate reaction is to hug Tara.
Wow.
No questions asked.
That's sweet.
It's this unspoken understanding between them, a bond that was forged in the crucible of shared vulnerability.
It's a powerful image.
It is, and the Whispering Woods, where the labyrinth is, it remains this darkly shimmering scar, a reminder of their ordeal.
Yeah.
But they survived by being their messy, honest selves.
It's a good reminder that it's okay to not be perfect.
Right. And it makes you think about all the masks we wear in our own lives.
Yeah. And what it costs us to keep them up.
Exactly.
So what do these two stories tell us about the human condition?
Well, I think in the Rebel Seer, we see how heavy the burden of future knowledge can be.
Yeah, it's not always a gift.
Right. And it makes you wonder, is genuine rebellion even possible when you know what's coming?
That's a good question.
Or is it more about having the courage to defy a seemingly fixed destiny?
Yeah, I think that's what Lyra does at the end.
She does. She chooses truth over prophecy.
And that changes everything.
It does, and it raises questions about free will versus destiny.
Big questions.
They are. And then in the labyrinth of lies,
Yeah.
I think we see how important honesty and vulnerability are.
Especially in relationships.
Right. The labyrinth forces those friends to strip away their pretenses.
Yeah, and they find strength in their shared imperfections.
They do, and it makes you think about the walls we build around ourselves. You know, are they protecting us or imprisoning us?
It's something we all do, build walls.
We do, and I think these stories challenge us to examine those walls and to see what lies beneath them.
I agree, they're both really thought-provoking stories.
They are, and I think they show how magic can be this powerful metaphor for exploring the complexities of being human.
Yeah, I like that.
So we hope this magical probe into wizarding flash fiction has given you some things to ponder.
Maybe even inspired you to explore some of your own hidden truths.
Or to challenge a future that seems set in stone.
Exactly.
And don't forget to rate and follow the Mary Potter podcast for more captivating stories from the wizarding world.
We'll be back next week with another magical probe.
What wild tales of magic and fantastic creatures do you hope we'll explore next?
The possibilities are endless.
They are, so until then, keep the magic alive.